Stepped on the scene, dripped in saline. Whole crew shining, call me Mr. Clean. Came in from the back, walked right to the front. Dancing to the music, smoking on the. Got the women smiling, punk grilling me, looking all dusty. Black Force energy, I don't even drink, but the team pop bottles. Not here for the beef, but the Glock holds hollows. Think I'm cocky, but I think I'm worse. In this flexing like a Mr. Universe.
The last topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Bill Haney announces Devin is moving up to fight Regis Prograis. All right, so let's take a look at the tweet that was put out by Michael Benson, in which actually, but it's just, the source is ESPN, as you can see. So it says Bill Haney has now indicated that Devin Haney will likely move up and challenge Regis Prograis for his WBC super lightweight world title next, not defend versus Shakur Stevenson. He said they will next eye a unification versus WBO super lightweight world champion Teofimo Lopez. So this announcement is that Devin the Dream Haney was given a deadline by the WBC to announce whether or not he was going to defend his undisputed titles at 135 against Shakur Stevenson or move up to 140. Devin elects to move up to 140 to fight Regis Prograis at 140, and then he wants Teofimo Lopez next for the WBO. I'm turning it over to you, G. What's your reaction to this?
Trill was right.
Yeah, actually, yeah. You know what I mean? And to be honest, this is probably the safest option for Devin. You know what I mean? Like, Regis Prograis pretty much is like, all right, word, I see there's a belt for sale. You know, that's no disrespect to Regis, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, out of all the options that Haney has, you know, like, the chance of success will be the easiest with Regis, you know, like, because if he stays at 135, he's gonna have to, you know, train himself, and he's gonna have to fight either Shakur or Tank. That's just a no. That's pretty much giving up his belt at this point because he just can't maintain that size. Now he can move up to 140, and he has two good options. He got Regis or he has Teofimo. Right. And so he's probably like, hey, if I get the belt from Regis, then next up is Teofimo. And if I could get all of those belts, I'll be unified in now two divisions. So it makes sense to go after Regis, you know, and not to mention that's like pretty much the chance of success is high in that one. So I'm not mad at the Haney team for going the Regis Prograis route. I would do the very same thing.
All right, Dollar Bill.
You knew this was going to happen. I already told you, you know? I mean, look, and what G was saying is hilarious, but it's only funny because it's true. You know what I'm saying? Regis was trying to sell that belt to the highest bidder. You know what I'm saying? And Eddie was like, hey, my man Devin want that. You know what I'm saying? So he was either going to try to sell it to Ryan or sell it to Devin. Everybody was calling Regis after his last fight. Everybody was, people that don't even box was calling him wanting the title shot after that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think we seen Devin struggle with the 135 thing. I'm surprised that he was able to stay there for this long. You know, I thought him fighting Cambosos the second time was too much, you know. And then going ahead and fighting Loma, you know, I thought that was too much. But yeah, you know, he's at 140. He plans on facing Regis, and then he says he wants to jump right into Teofimo Lopez. But I think there's going to be a little break before the Teofimo Lopez thing. You know, I think they're going to try to see if they can fight somebody else for one of those other vacant belts. You know, because Rolly got a belt, correct? At 140,
regular, but yes, a regular belt.
Oh, yeah, regular. I thought it was
it's only T.O. and Regis that got the real belts,
and then the rest.
No, I thought Rolly got a super belt.
Yeah, because I thought it was.
No, Rolly got a real belt, I think.
Josh Taylor lost his, and that's the Teofimo, and that was only one. And then there was the Regis's of the two belts. I I thought the
Nah,
WBO was rolling.
Josh lost only one of his belts, and then that belt went to
I thought Josh only cut one.
yeah.
Don't he Josh vacate
Nah,
Josh
yo, Rolly's the WBA World Super Light.
Oh,
Super
snap.
Light.
Yeah.
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 Super Light welterweight
Josh
champion.
Taylor vacated like 2 belts.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
they
Josh
vacated.
vacated 2 belts. Oh, okay.
And then somebody,
Nah,
I
he's
think Jack
super.
Catterall is gonna fight for the vacant IBF belt or something like that. I'm not sure though. Don't quote me.
Don't quote
Either
me,
way,
boy.
it's too many belts.
Yeah, basically.
You know what I'm
when you
saying?
have to go through all this.
It's basically too many belts. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I think that he probably try to go snatch something out instead of going direct to Teofimo Lopez, because I think that they might want to build that up a little bit more. But yeah, Devin at 140. That's where he's gonna be at. And then until the other guys at 135 move to 140, then Devin's gonna be time for Devin to move to 147. But yeah, I knew that this move was gonna happen, and it's the best move for Devin to make, realistically, because we don't want to see him draining himself to make 135, and then he end up losing it because of the scales.
Mm-hmm.
And we know when it comes to boxing, nobody cares about excuses.
Nope. All right, TBE.
I agree with my co-host wholeheartedly, but I never understand why fighters don't fight at their weight class. They try to fight at a lower weight class. It's like if I'm 160, I'm gonna fight at 160. I'm not gonna try to fight at 130, drain myself, lose 30 pounds to fight at 130 when I know that's not who I really am. But now you see Devin's moving up. He's been fighting in a lower weight class where he's been draining himself. He's been in the gym 24/7. If they say he's not at his full potential, he's at a drain potential. And I don't understand why fighters do that. Fight at the class you need to be in. And then when you go up from there, we understand this is what you are, and you could be better than that when you put on weight, muscle, and things like that. Like for instance, you see like Kevin Durant when he graduated from when he got drafted from Texas Tech or Texas Longhorns, and he was skinny. People like he couldn't do. He's not gonna do nothing with that frame. As soon as he put on weight, he showed you who he was. He wasn't playing. He was playing at his regular size, and he put more weight, and he showed you that he could be a star in the league. So I don't understand why fighters fight at a weight that's less than where they should be to showcase their skills. Fight where you need to be so we can see who you really are. Don't go play in the D League. You score. Don't be. For example, y'all probably won't remember this. Marcus Banks, he been in the league like 10 years at this point, and he dropped 40 points in this summer league. And it was like, oh, they made a bunch of storylines. I'm like, he dropped 40 points in summer league. He never did that in regular season, but he's been in the league for over 10 years. He's like 38 years old playing against like guys who are 18, 19, 20 years old who coming out of college. But I'm just saying, if you're gonna fight at the class you need to be in. Don't be me. Don't be what's this tall skinny guy who's fighting at like lightweight or something like that. He got Bondor, yeah. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. If you're built to be a cruiserweight, be a cruiserweight. If you're built to be a heavyweight, be a heavyweight. If you're built to be a light heavyweight, be a light heavyweight. But don't be a light heavyweight in the freaking featherweight thinking you're nice when you're not. Go ahead, G.
All right. I think you're confusing height with weight. You know what I'm saying?
No,
that Fedora kid can't gain weight, bro. He's was a ectomorph, whatever they call. Bro, this dude, he's not gonna fight at no cruiserweight, bro. Like, no, it ain't about excuses. It's just certain people just can't do it. And on top of that, what you're not factoring in is guys like Haney and Shakur, right? They're gonna get to 147 sooner or later, but their muscles haven't developed yet. They're doing it the correct way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're like, hey, why are you at 135? Just go straight to 147. Why? You know what I'm saying? Like 147 got like guys that were already in 135, 140, 147 already. They're getting there. They're just pretty much they're working their way up. It just takes time. You know what I'm saying? Like Yeah, you could be like, oh, what's your weight right now? All right, just get in the ring and fight at that weight. It doesn't make sense though. That doesn't mean that that's who your peak weight is. You know what I'm saying? Your ideal fighting weight is at that weight class. You know what I mean? Just because you walk around at a particular weight, that doesn't make sense, Ned. It's like, come on. Sometimes you gotta use like reasoning when you're like talking about this, and this is like common sense almost. And I'm just like, yo, what are you talking about, fam?
Nah, I don't agree with you, G, man. At the end of the day, if you have a size of build and your potential is to be in a certain sport, a certain level or certain category, fight in that category. Don't fight below where you need to be and expect us to think you're great. Like Devin, you have skill, you have talent, but you've been diminishing yourself for so long. Now it's the time to show you if you can hang with the big boys. And yeah, Regis, easy wash. I'm gonna be real with you. When me, Trill, and Caden picked Prograis to beat Josh Taylor, and G picked. Oh no, me. Yeah, we picked. Yeah, me, Trill, and Caden picked Prograis to beat Josh Taylor, and G picked Josh Taylor. So G, you knew the insight. Josh Taylor ended up beating Prograis, and I don't think Prograis is that great of a fighter. Yes, he's from New Orleans. Yes, he's a talented American fighter, but I don't think he got the skills to beat Haney. And Haney, you know what you need to do. You know you've been draining yourself for so long. Now it's time to have a steak before a fight because you know you can handle it. You're not gonna be tired or sluggish because you ate some food, or you're not gonna be full any things of that manner. I feel Haney's just been like ducking a lot of fighters. If you want to look at it, how I look at it, he's been ducking a lot of fighters.
Like
so,
who?
like, Haney, if you
Like
fight
who?
at your actual
Ducking
weight,
who? Like who?
if you can I finish what I'm saying? Haney, if you fight at your actual weight class, maybe we would think more. Maybe you have a bigger fan base, but honestly, I don't know
who is he ducking? Who should he be fighting in his natural weight class?
147.
Who should he be fighting, bro? You just saying the weight division.
Hey man, you see what was going on at 147. You see what's going on at 147. Haney should be up there. And he could be up there. Gee, can he? You say that's his next move, right? He should be up there. So 147. Stop taking the slim fast. Stop going to Jenny Craig and all of that. Nah, eat what you need to eat and be with the big boys because you know what you need to do, Devin. Stop doing that. Like we ain't talking about what happened to you last week, but you wouldn't be out here handling armor and certain material that you know don't need to be doing. You should have your security should be doing that. But Haney, if you want to walk around like that, then walk around like at your real weight so you can let people know who you really are. Yo, stop eating celery sticks and carrots and fight with the big boys. Like, come on now, yo. That's all I'm saying. Yo. He's moving up to fight Regis Prograis. He's gonna fight Teofimo after that, or maybe after the next fight he has that 140 143 or whatever. And it is what it is. But I don't like fighters who can be at a certain. Watch your mouth, G. Fix your face. I don't like fighters who drain themselves to fight at a low weight class when they should be fighting at certain weight, the weight class they should be fighting at, and prove themselves. Like, if you're really talented, if you really got the skill, fight at the level you need to be at. It's like me, like, yeah, I've been in, like, and I ain't even gonna say that because I ain't gonna diss myself, but I'm done.
What are you gonna say?
I ain't gonna say nothing, yo. I'm good. Plead the fifth.
So hear your take. Your take is very interesting, right? Like, I understand where you're coming from, and in many instances, I agree with you. However, you have to put things in its proper perspective. Everybody in the sport of boxing is fighting at the weight class that they feel like they have a competitive advantage.
Exactly.
So, Devin Haney he's not the only person who fights weight classes below his walking around weight, his comfortable weight. Practically, I'd say like 95% of the fighters in boxing do it, and the 5% who don't do it are heavyweights, and they're out of shape heavyweights. So even Anthony Joshua isn't fighting at his walking around weight. he's getting in shape. He's working his way to a comfortable competitive weight. Even Deontay Wilder doesn't just walk in there and say, I'm just going to fight at my walking around weight. Because when you train for boxing, naturally, you're going to lose weight anyway. So you have to look at it like what you're walking around weight and then going into a camp, you're going to lose weight naturally because what boxing requires, it requires you to spar rounds, to hit the bag, to jump rope, to run, to do certain things that are going to have your weight fluctuate. So that's one thing. The other thing is Devin Haney hasn't just been fighting at a lower weight class. He's been fighting at the absolute lowest weight class that he can possibly get down to for years now as a growing young man. And I think that is where we're running into the issue with Devin. It's like your body is trying to grow and you're trying to stop it from grow, and growth is inevitable, especially at your age. So that's why I think Devin is running into these issues. He stayed at 135 too long. So I agree that he needs to move up in weight, because when you look so bad on the scale that you go viral, and then for your upcoming fight, they actually hold the weigh-in the morning of the fight so that no one can see you. And then the weigh-in they actually show later that night is ceremonial, meaning it's just for show because you already weighed in the morning. That's bad. That's how you know someone is draining themselves and killing themselves to make weight. You can't keep putting your body through that. So Devin needs to move up in weight. He needs to move up to 140. Is that going to help Devin? We'll see. Hopefully he can go back to weighing in on the scale and not looking like a skeleton, because it's real. He was really depleting his body that badly. So people are going to say he ran from Shakur. And I think Trill brought up the great point. Was he supposed to drain himself and then fight the most talented opponent he ever faced in his career at a disadvantage? If he does that, he's not giving himself the best chance to win. He'd lose. And if he goes in there and he loses, you're going to clown the man anyway. So he might as well take care of himself, move up in weight, fight Regis Prograis, which we all know Regis isn't the most talented brother out there. So you can get that belt. You can go fight Rolly. And I see what you're saying, G. The WBA has a super and they have a world title. And he has the world title, but I don't know if the super is different from their world, or if you have to be unified to get their super.
Yeah, I thought the super's for unified champions.
Yeah, so he has the WBA like world title though.
Yeah, so that's a regular. That's like their regular thing.
But that's the real belt though.
I think the super. Nah, I think how they did it was the super supersedes the regular. So
nobody got a super though.
But no one has a super.
Oh, sure.
That's what I'm saying. So you got if Rolly was a unified, then he'd be elevated to super.
Yeah.
I think that's the way that they work. So but yeah, go move up, because you know what? You got Shakur chasing fights. But there are other people. Shakur can fight George Kambosos, who just had a horrible performance last night. Shakur can fight Vasily Lomachenko. Shakur can fight these guys, and they can still try to see who reigns supreme at 135. But for me, once you become undisputed at 135, you can just drop it and move on. But he wanted to test himself against Vasily, so he went back there one more time, and he was fortunate to get the decision, although there are people who dispute the outcome. Well, whatever. You can move up because you got Teofimo Lopez, who just went up there and beat Josh Taylor, and Josh Taylor was undisputed at 140 and didn't lose his belts in the ring. So you got former 135 undisputed in the man who could have been undisputed if Josh Taylor didn't give up his belts at 140. So there's still good fighters up there, and Shakur is going to have to make his way up there and whenever. But for me, I don't want to see Devin killing himself to make weight, because that's giving his opponents an unfair advantage and nobody's acknowledging it, because they don't like Devin. So what they want is they want Devin, keep killing yourself to get in the ring, and then, oh yeah, we expect you to beat this guy who isn't doing the same, and that's not right. So I think him moving up is the wise decision.
Yeah. And just for record, it's a kid from Puerto Rico. He got the belt, the IBF belt at 140. And then there's Regis Prograis with the WBC. And then there's Rolly, WBA, and Tefimo Lopez with the ring and the WBO belt.
Yeah, the kid from Puerto Rico, I don't know how he got the belt.
Isn't he undefeated? All right, let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter, and please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. I'm the commissioner, aka Trill Dollar Bill. That's G, that's the TBE, and that's Caden. You know who you rocking with? The Mighty Boxing Bros. We appreciate you guys.